Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. We are getting ready for qualifying here at Portimao. So, surprise stream? Not really a surprise. I just hadn't scheduled it on YouTube. Like, there's a stream tomorrow. I just haven't put it on YouTube yet. Um, Sometimes getting thumbnails, and knowing what to title a live stream when you're yet to um knowing what to title a live stream when it's like it hasn't happened. It's not like a video where, oh, you know what happens, so you can put a title that relates to what happens. It's like you don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, sometimes that holds me up. I'm just really like, how do I title this? What do I write in the description? Um, but yes, we are in the Porsche. So we are Porsche LMDH car within the Hypercar class. We've got GT3s alongside us. This is going to be a very interesting series. If you didn't see the 100-minute race we did around Bahrain, it was very interesting on strategy. It required fuel saving. It was very interesting. Do you change 2 tires? Do you change no tires? Or maybe do you change all 4 tires? That might be a consideration here tonight. It was really all, what do you do? There's definitely choices to be made on strategy. And it was very interesting. So, starting this Sunday and for the next 7 Sundays after this week, we have a series of 100-minute races. This time not just in GT3 cars, with Hypercars as well. And it should be... I think this should be very interesting. I'm very much looking forward to this. And hopefully we can do well. So on the outlap for our private qualifying session, 15 minutes. Let's try and set the best time we can for a grip position. Don't get track limits on the first lap. Of course, we're mainly trying to get the tires up to temperature here. One thing I found with myself in practice as well, I'm really overestimating the braking ability of the LMDH car, Porsche, into a lot of the corners. Of course, no ABS within the Hypercars and LMDH cars, so gotta manage the brakes to not lock up. And there's some very tricky braking zones here at Portimao, with elevation. Valde, this lap was just a little too wide. See how much the tyres warming up helps with the pace. 1.2 seconds up already. Well, that's a bad right-hander. At least we did on this lap that's already invalidated. We still have 10 minutes to set a better time. So we go for another lap. No, a good line through T1, too tight on the inside. I think that's as good of a sector one as it was last lap. A little wide of the apex there. Yeah, not quite 1.2 seconds up this lap by 10th and a half down on our previous lap. A little bit of a lock up there. Not running in deep this time. Nearly 1.5 seconds up. We're going to get one more lap this stint. Look at the time we gained through T1 from not hitting the inside curb. Sitting in P6. Bit of time in the final sector here. Up to the line. We'll improve back up to P6. But if we want to get another 5 laps in, we need to get going. Be very close if we get all the laps in that we want. don't think we will actually get back up to speed with the cool tires. We're 4/10ths off of P5. Something tells me we're not getting P5 this quali session. By the way, our energy target for the race is 3.125. We'll run that to 3.1 because we'll need a little bit of energy for the run to the start, the sort of short formation lap. We do want to try and improve still, because you have to imagine drivers behind are going to improve and try and displace us from P6. It's going to be costly. Apex there. I kind of need to back this lap off a bit, but I don't have the time to back off. Otherwise I won't get the final lap in. Get the time we need in that penultimate corner just by not locking up and running deep. Too early there, well, did turn in too early. Compromised my line there. bad luck I'm to have. Again, just locking up. We just crossed the line in the final second. Validated at very first corner. But it looks like we might hold on to P6 anyway. Pushing these braking zones still too much. But yeah, 2/10 there in the final corner. We'll practice a pit entry because we can. Ooh, that was very close. Very close indeed. Whew. Wrong way. Maybe I need to change the brake migration. I wish there was an actual description for brake migration. Like, it just says NA. Like, I know it shifts the brake balance throughout a braking zone. So when you hit the brakes hard at high speed, you know, the brake bias, I think, is a little more... I want to say forward, and then as you trail the brake off and the speed comes down, it migrates the bias backwards, so that there's more sort of less force on the front brakes for the same input pedal force, let's say. But yeah, P6, good place to be starting. Yeah, we're running some Ferraris, which are very quick car in this game. Well, they are the quickest hypercar. If you look at the public lobbies, they're full of Ferraris, just because of how sort of OP quick they are. 100-minute race, not as bad as yesterday's 2-hour race, but yeah, it will be interesting. Remember, we're trying to hit 3.1% energy per lap to get to the end of the race on one pit stop. So, yeah. We'll have to see how our race pace is. It's going to be interesting. So it is. One drink before we go.
Formation lap has started.
Nice thing about the LMDH cars, you don't have to worry about stalling them. Yeah, waiting for a start here. Looks like there's a car maybe missing.
Green flag, green flag.
Not the best jump. Something happened there. I'd curse him inside. I was a little bit worried I was going to get taken out, but we survived T1. Clear that track limit. Concertina effect. Bing show creased to grid effect. Way too deep on the brakes there. Not a great end to the first lap. Fuel usage last lap, 3.12, exactly where we need it to be. Getting a little late on the brakes. Opening the gap up to cars behind. Okay, we don't need to fuel save as much as I thought we did. I didn't practice the fuel saving. Actually should have checked how much fuel I was using when I was in practice, when I was pushing flat out. angle the car more into the apex there. Finding ourselves in a bit of no man's land here. Nice not to be under pressure from behind. It would be nice to close into some of the cars in front. No option to repair the damage. Well, there's only 4 points for the entire race. That's not too many. About one every 25 minutes on average. Of course, won't be too long before we catch traffic. Of the GT3s. Fine, saying fastest lap of the race. There is the first GT3. Oh, I forgot we have different tire compounds in Hypercar. Yeah, we probably should be running a hard front left. bit awkward with the McLaren. I didn't time it well enough. They kind of let us through. Over halfway through the GT3 field for the first time this race. Evening, Kevin. I think we've closed up on the Ferrari a bit through the traffic. One last car. And that is us past the GT3s for the first time. "15 minutes into the race. Expecting about 32 laps in this first half. So the Ferrari in front of us is definitely a little bit quicker than us, but we seem to be a little bit better through the traffic. Hypercars have had a crash here. The Toyota got going again, but they've lost time to us. I can feel my room heating up. Clear that track limit. We're going to have to make sure we do that throughout the race. Also, for some reason, the car in front of us has just disappeared from the relative. I'd love to know why, but it has. They were there earlier. Seen it come up fastest lap. But now they've disappeared. Got a straggling GT3 here. Couple of lockups from the Ferrari in front into turn 3 here. Last couple of laps. I've been having my own. Our energy seems a little bit better compared to the others, especially the Toyota behind. Car behind's already pitted, the GT3, which is interesting. They're going to need to pit again this race. Not an ideal place to catch GT3, but not much we can do about it. But we'd help fight in through the car in deep at the next hairpin. We seem to be the ones losing time to the fray this time. Through the traffic. Here's the main pack of GT3s. big snaps of oversteer for the McLaren in front. Look in your mirrors, please. We've also closed like a second up to the Ferrari. So they haven't had a good time trying to pass that GT3 train. Yeah, we'll catch the Porsche. Lockup lost me a lot of time there. Ooh! Crash for the Ferrari with the Mustang GT3. That's the last place Mustang. That's us up into P5. We definitely don't have top 4 pace. But we have a very good chance of finishing P5 now. Adjustment to the brake bias, put more rearward. Try and prevent some of these small lockups. Car starts sliding out of the left-hander there. That was close. always uncertain when you catch GT3 there. Are they going to stick to a tight line or run a little bit wide? Usually you've just enough time to kind of see what the GT3 is doing and react to it. Wasn't going to have the time there. Again, just understeering here. I might have saved that from being 0.5 and instead just being a quarter. Which every little helps. Fry's certainly coming back at us. Damage must not be too significant. Something is telling me that I'm going the wrong way on the brake bias. I'm actually doing the opposite to what I want. But that would make... then the numbers would make a lot of sense. Because despite setting the brake bias rearward, I'm still struggling with front locking. Something's going on up here. GT3 car off in the gravel. I think this is like their out lap. So likely misjudging. GT3 there got scared. I think that's the one that the Fry hit. Ah, there. Fry was really closing in on the straight there. Just gonna try this on the brakes, see how they feel. Hard to tell if that's any more sensitive to lockups or not. Oh, Fry out wide. Big snap of oversteer trying to put the power down. Aston Martin going for a little adventure. "40 minutes in, 1 hour to go." I don't like how that BMW didn't turn in for the corner. Not very predictable. Gap in the GT3s now. Of course, pit stops coming soon. In about 78 minutes. That was the line. Ferrari had an instant or mistake. Five laps till we pit. Ferrari's having to defend from the Toyota, which has consumed a lot of virtual energy this race. Might be a little bit difficult for them to get to the end of the race. Just was not sure what that BMW was doing. Very unpredictable. That maybe wasn't the right decision to wait for the inside, and maybe should have committed to the outside there. Either way, it was awkward timing. 3 laps. That first Ferrari, that Ferrari that we were fighting, already into the pits. That's early. They might have to save a little bit of energy to make it to the end of the race. The Fries in front into the pits. Looks like the race is going to be 64 laps. So in 2 laps time we'll need 32 things of fuel. McLaren was letting us through, which is a bit annoying because I wasn't quite close enough to commit. Ferrari we were fighting is now in front of us, having made their pit stop. Look how hot the front left is. No warning for track limits, they're not too bad. See, we have the energy for another lap, but we don't have the fuel. That's why I increased the fuel ratio by 1, so we can reduce the virtual energy. I think they'll make our pit stop a little bit quicker. Compared to if we filled up to 100% energy. Lock up. So into the pits this lap. New left-hand side tyres. Front left, rear left, new hard, new medium. Careful going around the other car. Right, drink. Hopefully we have a clear pit box to drive out of. And we do indeed. Okay, that was improper pit exit by the Ferrari. Took the MotoGP exit rather than the one for cars. So right-hand side tires are still warmish. Not optimal temperature. Not as close to optimal temperature, I should say, where they before we pitted. There's heat in them. Left-hand side tires are cold. Porsche behind will have to box either end of this lap or next lap. Had to be careful turning in for the apex there with the GT3 there. It's going to be a little bit harder to get this front left hard tire up to temperature. But once we do, it should hopefully hold on a little better throughout the stint than the medium. A little bit awkward there with the GT3 coming out. That's just unfortunate. Unlucky. Lift for the track limits. Right, we're currently P5. And there's still a car to pit in front of us. We're going to be up into P4, something. The Ferrari that was in the top 4 has... fallen out of contention or something. Something's happened to them. Car spun off onto the grass. That's a little bit scary with the Porsche. Porsche that we're lapping to go S3, which is appreciated. Yeah, I think that top for Ferrari has retired from the race. Curious what happened to him, but certainly a real shame for them. Alpine in the top 3 has also followed us with the tyre strategy. Catching up to Porsche on the right lap. Car feels so much better, 3 right-handers now. Doesn't feel too bad, 3 left-handers. That was close. A little bit awkward there. Right, Ferrari is 11 seconds back. We know it was a little bit quicker than us, but it's low on energy. I think it'll need to save energy. That was cheeky. Good awareness there from the GT3s. Right, hard tire isn't quite up to the temperature that it needs to be at. It needs to be sort of mid-90s. Porsche coming out of the pits. On-cool tires, a little bit sketchy. I thought that'd only be 0.25, which is partly why I let it run. But it was 0.5 instead. Still got 2 points to spare. quite close to beating my personal best, which I kind of want to do. I suppose that is close enough. BMW's on an outlap, so it's got cool tyres. And of course I've got worn right-hand side tyres. If that wasn't the case, could have had passed the BMW flat out. But considering those two factors, needed to take the lift. Season Pass is just a cheaper way to get all the DLCs. It might not seem like it at the moment, but I'm pretty sure when DLC Pack 5 releases for 2024, for the 2024 content, I should say, yeah, it's just a bundle of the 5 2024 packs, or 2024 content packs. So that includes the GT3s, some new hypercars, and 4 tracks. Just had to wait patiently there. Didn't have much choice. I'm not sure in saying that having the hard front left tire is better. I wouldn't say it's worse, but I don't know if it's better. Not noticing that much of a difference. Well, the car feels a little better to drive, but it's not necessarily quicker. That could be that I've just tidied my driving up a little bit, and I've got some clear air. energy wise. Might have to save a little bit. And if we're having to save a little bit, that's quite concerning for the fry behind. Now, the fry behind definitely could save like 5% of energy throughout this whole stint. But they would need to be doing it cleverly. And be doing it now. Oh yeah, we are tight on energy. Nice lock up. Very messy start to this lap. $30 remain. It's going to leave the space for us to slot through. Very generous. We are literally so close on fuel that if this was a single class race, we wouldn't have enough fuel / energy. But because this is multi-class, that McLaren nearly turned in on me. BMW seems a bit slow in this straight. Marbles. I want to try and catch what one of the lap times are for the leader. Just see what pace they're running. That small lift that lost us like a quarter of a tenth and stopped us from getting a track limit point. Sometimes it is definitely worth lifting. Leader invalidated this lap. Low 33 for second place. .21 minutes to go. Now we have had rear end damage since the start of the race. I wonder how much that's costing us in performance. The balance of the car feels fine. But I wonder if that aero damage is like costing us straight line speed. That could be losing us a few tenths a lap. Honestly, I have no idea if it is or not. I'm just curious. That's a harsh track limit point for being outside track limits for like 10 milliseconds. I may need to lift and coast for the fuel. Of course, we're using more fuel now because I had to turn the motor map down because the battery was near the empty. Just noticed, like, at this current rate, we're like nearly half a lap out on fuel. Of course, that'll come back to us when we turn the motor map up. But we were already on the limit, so you can assume that even when we turn it up, we'll be short. Don't appreciate the McLaren staying off the racing line there. Not very predictable. Just noticed to switch for the lead, the Toyota's into the lead. Peugeot has fallen to second. Of course, we won't need to save any energy if the race goes one lap shorter than what I'm thinking it will, which is kind of being suggested by the relative. On the throttle too early there. Let's go see if that's a track limit. Definitely lost time in that. Ferrari had collided with it, T1. Did not expect to catch that BMW up as quickly as it did. But yeah, the Ferrari collided with T1 has come up to the Toyota MP6. I think the Ferrari's going to be a little annoyed at us there for holding them up against the McLaren. That's just multi-class racing. Unlucky. If that Chevy didn't make the apex, I'm gonna be a bit annoyed at them. I mean, I guess I could have dived to the apex and they wanted to leave space in case I did. But that would have been a stupid move from me, to be honest. Very risky. Energy was quite low last lap because of the GT3s that we had to lift for. You know, that's why we're not saving energy prematurely, because there might come a point when we end up saving it and don't lose any time because, well, we didn't lift to save the energy, we lifted to not collide with GT3s. And that was just a useful byproduct of managing the GT3 traffic. Little wide of the apex. Front left tire definitely seems to be holding up better now that it's a hard tire. Definitely missed a trick there in the first stint. One of the nice things with this car is if we run out of energy, or not, sorry, energy, sorry, fuel, we can, obviously we can still coast to the line, but we'll actually still be able to have 50 kilowatts of power from the hybrid. Actually, to be fair, the hypercars could have like 200 kilowatts powering them to the line with their front-wheel drive systems. 10 minutes to go. I mean, the front left tyres didn't even go hit 50% wear by the end of this race, whereas it was done at like 37% at the end of the first stint. You know, the tyre hasn't felt any worse during this stint. And it's definitely holding up better towards the end of the stint. So, easily it has been the right choice. Parshew's trying to get back into the lead. The top three are within 3 seconds. That's a good fight for the lead now. And I'm a little disappointed I can't be watching it. If you're really curious, this race is being streamed on Twitch by the oNiD community, twitch.tv/oNiD Racing. If you want to see what's happening at the front of the field, of course keep this stream on in the background at least. I don't mind that BMW letting us have the inside there. Damn, second monitor content. To be fair, racing is... especially when a little bit of no man's land like this certainly isn't main monitor content. Six laps to go. We are still a smidge short on fuel. I might be able to turn the battery up to 50 kilowatts for the final couple of laps to help save the fuel. That was really awkward, really poorly timed. DT for the Ferrari in P8. Toyota is still holding on to P6. That's our harsh track limit. What time is this? I'm passing the leading GT3 shortly before T1. Like, I swear every time I've passed them, well, not every time, but like so many times, have been at the start-finish line. GT3 lost the rear end. That is such an easy mistake to make. I've made that mistake a good few times on this game. Did it right in front of us. Not ideal. We had like net zero use of energy that lap. So gotta turn it up to try and make sure we have enough fuel for the end. 3 laps to go. Or 4 laps to go, sorry. Awkward timing. Catching the Ferrari GT3 here. Just like 0.8 of a second gone like that. Not much we could do about that. Such is the way of multi-class racing. Then we'll go through more time away at the hairpin. Another like half a second. I should probably be short shifting a little bit too, to help save energy. Or not energy, but fuel. Try second gear out of here. Didn't seem bad. One minute remains. Actually, leaders might be just short for a 64th lap. Yeah, if they're a minute in front of us, then they're 30 seconds behind us. This is going to be like the final lap. Yeah, final lap. So don't need to worry about fuel or energy at all. We are safe. Timer has hit 0. Leaders coming into the final corner now on the track map. Looks like the Toyota is just gonna hold on. That was so close between them. Near instant as the checkered flags flashed up. BMW very wide there. Don't think that was intentional. Car just seemed to be sort of sliding into the corner. Mistake there. And that is P3, or P4, sorry. P4. That was a good race. So it was. One of the GT3s had forgot to change tyres at their pit stop, so had to come in a second time. Oh, that was. Oh, that's a good race. I probably should have checked the GT3 results there. We were best Porsche. Next best Porsche was P9. Oh, so the Toyota in the lead took all 4 tires. The other 2 leaders, I think, just took left-hand sides. So yeah, difference in strategy there. I've got to load the replay up because I want to see what happened at the start. And I want to see what happened to the other Ferrari that was in the top 4. So yeah, just then the replay load up. I'll have a quick look at the start. I've just seen some quality results for the Indy 500. Not going to spoil anything, don't worry. But it's wow. Interesting. This replay, by the way, is just taking ages to load. Classic LMU. So let us see here. Rolling up to start. Wasn't the greatest getaway. Let's go slow-mo. Can I? No, I don't have a way of rotating the camera. Oh, it was 3 wide. And they were on such an acute angle. No, that's not what I want. Oh yeah, this Toyota. That is not a gap. I mean, at this point, it's already too late. But like, what is that angle? That is just, I want to cause a T1 crash. And you did. Rip that Ferrari and everyone having concertina up. And look how close, you know, the GT3s are already on the corner apex. The cars scatter. And there goes the GT3s, passing nearly half the Hypercar field. Let's watch that back from another angle. Let's watch it back from... Yeah, this Porsche will do. Let's go cockpit cam. Yeah, you can kind of see it coming with the Toyota so tight on the inside. I won't go up to this Ferrari. This Ferrari, there was a gap there, but they were like, hang on, let's back over, let's be safe. And then they just see that in front of them. So unfortunate for them, because, you know, they were doing the right thing and just, oh yeah, someone else being... just being a bit silly. Yeah. Rough for them. Right, let's see. This Ferrari didn't finish. This is them in for their pit stop. A little bit cheeky running in the thing. I wonder if they had an issue of some sorts. Game crash, maybe? Huh. That's very odd. Very odd. Oh, and one more thing I want to look at is this driver. This one, they were in front of us, in front, Behind. Behind. Okay, I'm glitching out a little bit out. I went way past it. So this lap? Yes, this BMW. That BMW is just going much slower than they expected. And so when they slammed on the brakes to not run into the back of it, they just completely lost control of the car. Shame. That BMW was definitely the most unpredictable in how fast it was going. It was always going like 10, 20, 30 kilometers an hour slower through every corner than all the other GT3s. And if you weren't prepared for that, you know, it could easily catch you out like it did for that Ferrari. Then I kind of want to see what happened to the Ferrari that dropped it from like that dropped it further back, because it caught back up to us and then it dropped away again. That us. No, that's not us. Yeah, we're well ahead at that point. And that point. Maybe it was just time in the pit stop. So it was. But yeah, that was a good fun race. Really enjoyed that. There we go. Wheel has been a bit sticky after these long races. It hasn't wanted to release. But yeah, we're going to load up Art of Rally to finish off as usual. To wrap up the stream. I just don't want to load up. There we go. So, daily event. Yesterday we got 29th. Not too bad. Top 10%. Could be better, as we've seen on Friday. Let's see what we can get today. Group B at Sardinia for a 6-kilometer gravel stage in the lovely sunset. This is a Ford. I'm pretty sure. RS200? Must say it drives very well. Careful. That clutch kick gave a lot of... helped with the acceleration, but also caused the car to understeer a bit. Yeah, they turned into early. I knew that corner is quite tight from when I've done this stage in the other direction. There we go, 2 minute 2.4. That puts us 43rd. Wow, I really didn't expect to be that far down. Yeah. It's very shocked indeed. Disappointed by that, to be honest. But oh well. Was still fun, nevertheless. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's stream. Good fun racing. We didn't have the most interesting battles. Unfortunately, all the battles just weren't near us. They were either way in front of us or a bit behind us. Shame about the incident at the start. I think that's what really led us to being in no man's land, because we weren't as quick as the cars in front of us. You know, there's one car, but they had a little bit of trouble. And then the cars behind us that might have challenged us in the race got caught up in that T1 incident and lost a lot of time. But yeah, fun race nevertheless. Good clean. Always interesting in these races when you got the GT3s and you're having to focus on passing them. So yeah, good fun. Really enjoyed it. Hope you all enjoyed as well. We'll be back tomorrow for the continuation of our second GT3 series. We will be back at Fiji Classic for 65 minutes of racing. Sebring was a bit disappointing. I think I'm going to try kind of utilizing the ABS a bit more. I seen the pole lap from the Fuji round on Friday. Aston Martin driver, and they were just really sort of hammering the ABS. Like whereas this season I've been trying this strategy of not using ABS, turning it down to 1, so only engaged in like real lockup moments, and it hasn't really seemed to be. I've been struggling with GT3s a bit more than yeah. So we'll see how that goes tomorrow in the Mustang. Been interesting. Try different cars as well. Hopefully we don't have. Hopefully that also cures sort of the brake stability issues we've been having for a little while. For the past for the season so far. That would be nice. But yeah, that'll be tomorrow at about 7:45 p.m. as well. But yeah, good fun racing tonight. Enjoyed it. Hopefully you all enjoyed it as well. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kiki, for stopping along for chatting a bit. Anyone else that was lurking or is watching the VOD back, appreciated. Thank you. Hopefully you'll be able to join us tomorrow evening. But if not, hopefully you can join us back on Friday for our Friday GT3 series, which will be, well, we will probably have WRC tomorrow afternoon. I just remembered WRC tomorrow afternoon, then Richard Burns rally on Tuesday afternoon. Got a couple of rally events that end tomorrow and Tuesday. So yeah, gotta get them done. They'll be afternoon streams. So yeah, we'll have to get them scheduled. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Hopefully we'll be able to see you all next time. But until then, enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good start to your Monday. But yeah, until then, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.